But another thing they brought up is a lot of the yeast attributes, and I know you guys have talked about this because I listen to you guys when I'm working on podcasts, is all of these yeast factors and flavors and things that they bring. They're talking about either wine or beer. So it would be great for some of us to, start cataloging what does this yeast bring to a mead. What flavors come out of this yeast when you mix it with a honey water must. We don't really exactly know. Some are neutral, but I'm sure, just like some yeasts give beers different flavors, they've got to give different flavors to meads too, but they may not be the same as what they give to beer.
It's interesting you say that. A friend of mine that just lives in the same town that I do in Denver, we have access to the same honey provider, and we both agree 100% on the procedure that we use. And so several months ago, we bought quite a bit of honey, and we each made about 15 gallons of must, the exact same must. We agreed on the exact same protocol. And then we divided each of, in other words, we made 15 single gallons, both with the same yeast and the same protocol, with the same honey. And so now, here soon, with our club, we're going to get together and have a tasting where everybody will be able to sit down and try 20 different gallons, everything the same except for the yeast. And we'll then be able to see the differences in exactly what the yeast bring to the table all on their own without any other things trying to cloud the picture.
Yeah, that's great. Because you also, you're talking about flocculation and alcohol content and all of that stuff, but I'd be more interested in just what is the flavor that it brings. What is the underlying flavor that yeast might bring.
Yeah,
neat.
Come to Denver, and you can join us.
Well, I was at the Major Cup. Were you there, Ryan?
I was. I'm sorry, I don't, even now as I'm speaking with you, I don't know what you look like.
You probably would recognize me. I'm like 6'3" tall, and I have this long gray beard and long hair.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I had a booth there in the corner during the
meeting.
Yeah.
I see. I was a table steward.
Okay. Did you go to the mixer?
I did not. I thought that as a steward we were going to all go, and I found out later that only certain of them were invited, and so unfortunately I didn't get to make that part.
Oh, okay. I was hoping to run into Vicky there too, but I didn't see her there. You skipped the Mesa Cup this year, huh, Vicky?
Vicky had health issues this year.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I was sitting here talking and everybody's ignoring me. I'm like, okay, obviously I'm not here. I was muted while I was putting up a tweet. I had blood clots in my lungs in November and was banned from flying until like mid-April, end of April. So yeah, the doctor was like, you are so not getting on a plane. So yeah, I was there, and it almost looked like I wasn't going to be making it this coming year because my daughter is having a baby in November, and said, Mom, can you come live with us for 5 months? And I'm like, can it be 4? Because I have to be in Colorado and in mid-March. And she's like, well, okay. You don't love me. I'm going, yeah, I do, but I got to do this.
Well, it's really great to run into everyone and meet everyone. Laser Cup is a little chaotic, but I met a lot of people at the UC Davis classes, especially Pete, of course. And you guys keep talking about being a fanboy, but I think in the beginning, Mead Maker one, it was like Michael Fairbrother and Mike Fall and Ken Schramm, and everyone was there. I was like, holy smokes.
I know, right? It's like a heavyweight champions of the world of mead makers. It's kind of
and Pete. I think they had a panel with those 4 up there where you could ask them any questions. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm really sorry I missed it. I was really bummed, and I mean seriously bummed that I couldn't go. That's the first one I've missed. I helped found the thing, and I've been at every single one. So yeah, to miss one was like tearing my heart out.
Yeah, it was very interesting. It's my first one. I drove up there from Texas, and living like close to Houston, we don't really get snow. And right when we got there, it was snowing so much. I'm like, what the heck?
Y'all got dumped on up there, I saw. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but
like
luckily
we lost
didn't
Ryan
go anywhere.
again. Yeah, I'm going to call Ryan back in. You guys talk with Bruce, and I'm going to get Ryan back in here.
Okay, Bruce, how did you make the leap from a home mead maker to a professional?
Actually, I have to give credit to Michael Fairbrother for that, probably. I talked to him. I had one of the UC Davis classes that I went to, and he's like, if I had a nickel for everyone that told me that. But he was on some beer podcast probably back in 2012, just talking about mead, and I had just made it for myself, friends and family, and what have you, and then I was just like, you mean I can make a business out of this? This is awesome. Never even had that, crossed my mind before. And, so then the thought was in there, and then my now partner, who was a friend of my brother, I was living in California at the time, but from Houston area. My brother knew him, and he started talking to my brother all about mead, and he's like, yeah, my brother makes tons of mead and wine and other stuff like that. You should give him a call. And he gave me a call in California and said, hey, you want to come back to Texas and start a meadery? He has his family has a commercial nursery where they have hives. And they had all this honey, and then they kind of looked into it, and they're like, let's do a meadery on top of it. So they needed someone to make the mead because they didn't really know anything about it. So they called me up, and one thing led to another, and left my corporate gig behind in California and shipped on back up to Texas.
Huh.
And so we started January 2014. That's when all the licenses and everything finally came through. And we just opened our tasting room this last November, and things are looking up. Things are looking pretty good.
Can you speak to that whole licensing procedure and how long that took compared to how long you thought it would take?
Yeah, I wish that there was a way. There's not any wineries or anything around me, but if I could have done a custom crush, that sure would have been nice. Because luckily I had a location. So my partner's family nursery was the location, and they already had a warehouse. So, and it's the same address. So we put in that location of the application, and then we have to put an ad in the newspaper and post signs in Texas and everything before we get licensed. But luckily we had a location. If I was paying rent, I think it was probably about 8 months in total from application to approval.
Okay.
I don't understand how some people can pay rent for that long without making one drop of mead or wine. That is, that'll set you back so much that sometimes I think it may not even be worth starting.
Yeah, that's one of the things because a lot of people is like saying they want to go pro, but they don't really realize all the especially in the licensing issues.
Well, I remember the bad part about it is you cannot put in a formal application until your license is approved. Huh. But you technically can't make any mead until you have formal application, and you definitely can't bottle it until you have cola application. And even back then, like January 2014, we were fighting with cola people a lot. Our name is Griffin Meadery, but originally it was Griffin Mead, but they told us we couldn't have mead on the bottle if it was like, any sort of mellow or anything, because that, in their eyes, was not a mead. So we had to change our name to Griffin Meadery.
Huh.
Yeah, so a lot of things like that.
That's crazy. I see a lot of that on the MMA boards, and it's like
a lot of that
it's
is
so
changed.
inconsistent. Yeah, it is changing, but it's still. I mean, you can call 3 different TTB people and get 3 completely different answers. It's weird. I wonder if it's like different wineries.
Yeah, then you got on top of that. Every state is different.
I know,
right.
But go ahead.
Our state is pretty good. They're trying to really promote Texas wines, and since we're following like their winery thing, they're pretty good. Basically, all they do is they take that rubber stamp that TTB does and say, give us some more money and we'll approve your state license. And then with label approval, it's exactly the same. It's show us your TTB label approval, give us $25 per label, and we'll approve it for the states. And so I don't exactly know, what they do other the process other than just collecting money. But they've been pretty good to us. The TTB, our labels, some of them, like we have a lime, mint and lime one, and we put on the label with mint and lime, and they told us we couldn't do that. We had to put with natural herbs and flavoring or something like that. And I'm like, why do you want us to put that on there? That's more vague than what we originally had on there. So, but I've heard that that's all getting a lot better now. So, some people have to be in the forefront to kind of get it changed. You can't put mead on the label unless it was just honey and water.
Really?
Unless it was unless it was a traditional mead. But anyway, and let me tell you guys about the Meadfest. I guess that's sort of why I kind of wanted to call in here. So there's actually a couple more, but in our association, there's 7 meaderies throughout the state of Texas, and we get together once a year for the Texas Meadfest. And I kind of have to credit you guys on Got Mead Live for us changing our contest name to the Texas Mead Cup. Can't remember who called in, and you guys started talking about it last year, because we always had a long and laborious name for it, like the Texas Meadfest Amateur Home Competition or something like that. And then you guys started calling it the Texas Mead Cup, and I was like, fine, we'll call it the Texas Mead Cup.
Yeah, the Major Cup was like that. We had a super long name for it, and we were like, there's got to be a better way. That was when Ken Strand came along and said, why don't you call it the Major Cup? And we're going, would you let us do that? And he's like, well, of course I would.
Yeah, I think it might have been Chris or someone with you that's like talking about the Texas Mead Cup, and I was like, okay, because the Texas Meadfest Home Mead Makers Competition just is too much of a mouthful. And it was just a home one. Then this is our first year we're taking commercial entries. So we said, we'll just change it to the Texas Mead Cup.
I like it. It's,
pretty
makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah, so for the Texas Mead Cup, we just got the TexasMeadCup.com, and that website will be live, I think, June 1st, and I think we're accepting entries June 1st to September 1st, both commercial and home. And we got a lot, last year we got a lot of out-of-state entries for our home one, and I think half of our medals went to out-of-Texas entries. So it's a pretty good, it's pretty good. It's like a medal that's shaped like the state of Texas, so it would look good on anyone's shelf. It's kind of unique.
That's nice.
Yeah. And this year we're having that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna. I don't know if you want. Let's finish up with the Mead Fest. I was gonna ask you a question about the honey and stuff, but.
Okay. Well, the Mead Fest is just it's going to be at Lake Conroe on September 24th. September is so hot as hell in Houston, but this year it's indoors, air conditioning. So all the other years it's been an outdoor festival, and personally I do a lot of dry summer sweet meads, and after you drink a bunch of dry meads in the heat, people were like getting quite tired and wore out from the mead and the heat. So I think hopefully it'll make it better this year. We have a bunch of other vendors, honey vendors, and anything to do with honey. We're going to have beekeepers and beekeeper associations, and we're going to have a bunch of live music too. So it's a big fun day.
That's actually a great segue to get to the honey question that I had. Do you own honey, or do you buy it locally, or do you buy it bulk? How do you source it?
We buy basically. We have two vendors that are